chain. The fourth pillar, integrated special economic zone, under which the country's integrated special economic zones shall support both new and existing ventures. New investors will be directed to specialized regional hubs such as the Northern Battery Minerals or Midlands Metallurgical Zones, where they can share infrastructure and scale operations efficiently. 8 regional minerals beneficiation special economic zones or hubs shall be strategically positioned to transform the country's provinces. The 4 pillars shall be supported by key enablers, including reliable energy and affordable power supply, energy self-generation incentives for beneficiation projects, and environmental, social, and governance initiatives. Other initiatives include strengthening of the Ministry of Mines and Mining Development to undertake the added responsibilities. Cabinet also approved a robust and consolidated legal framework which will operationalize the mineral value chain. Cabinet received and approved a report on the tour of economic flagship projects in Manicaland province as presented by Honorable Vice President General Retired Dr. C.G.D.N. Chwenga. The tour covered the following projects: Roa Minerals Limited, Savistar Lithium Mine, Verify Engineering Private Limited, Tanganda Tea Company, Ariston Holdings Limited, Matanuska, Manica Boards and Doors, and Willowton Group. It established the existence of huge potential for multi-sectoral capacity utilization and investment opportunities across mining, agriculture, manufacturing, energy, and tourism sectors in Manicaland province. The government has identified systemic challenges in infrastructure, high cost of doing business, limited access to capital, and insufficient value addition. The strategic interventions underway include, among others, the following. 1. The National Energy Response Strategy to enhance self-sufficiency in the wake of the global energy crisis. Number 2, enhance the private-public partnerships in road rehabilitation in exchange for tax incentives and exemptions. Number 3, ease of doing business reforms for the tea subsector, including structural and corporate governance reforms in public companies and state-owned enterprises. Number 4, accelerated minerals value addition and beneficiation. And the 5th, the recapitalization of government-owned companies. Honorable Daniel Garwe, on behalf of Honorable Vice President Colonel Retired Dr. K.C.D. Mohadi, the Chairman of the Cabinet Committee on State Occasions and National Monuments, presented an update on preparations for the 46th Independence Day anniversary celebrations, the 2026 Children's Party and Legacy construction projects in Matabeleland South Province, which was adopted by Cabinet. Preparations for the 2026 Independence Day celebrations, the Children's Party, and legacy infrastructure projects are well advanced, with most expected to be completed prior to the celebrations. Key construction activities at the main arena, the stadium, and access roads are on schedule to be completed by the 15th of April 2026. The construction of major access roads, including Bulawayo Mapisa and Gwanda Mapisa, is ongoing and targeted for completion by August 2026. In the interim, measures will be taken to ensure these roads are trafficable and the tours are closed in time for the event. Repairs to stormwater drainage, grading, and gravelling are underway on other major roads, including Mapisa Mpoengs, Sanyetsen Manama, and St. Joseph Sanyetsen, as part of ongoing maintenance works to improve access to the celebration venue. The Children's Party is scheduled for the 17th of April 2026 at Maheche Primary School, with 3,050 child delegates participating. His Excellency, the President, Comrade Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, will host the event. Meanwhile, the Independence Torch Relay commenced on the 10th of April 2026 with the lighting of the flame at Zezani Assembly Point in Matabeleland South, which was officiated by Honorable Vice President Dr. CGDN Chwenga. The torch is being conveyed through districts in the province and will be received at Ratanyana Liberation Site on the 17th of April 2026 by Honorable Vice President Dr. Mohadi. It will then proceed to Mapisa, where athletes will hand it over to His Excellency the President on the Independence Day. Logistical arrangements including transport, food, security, invitations, and media are in place. Power supplies were established and several previously stalled projects have been completed, including the JMN Nkomo Polytechnic, Home Economics Block at Gwanda Polytechnic, renovation of 34 government properties, the Beit Bridge Redevelopment Housing Project, the Insiza District Civil Registry, and Kenze Rural Hospital Rehabilitation. Additionally, youth training in digital skills is ongoing, whilst housing for Liberation War veterans is being prioritized. Cabinet received and approved a report on the implementation of the job evaluation exercise, recommendations and emerging issues as presented by the Minister of Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare. Following the adoption of the Public Service Commission job evaluation exercise by Cabinet on the 10th of September 2024, the following milestones have since been achieved. 1. Job evaluation exercises for independent commissions and grant-aided institutions, uniformed forces sector, health services sector, higher and tertiary education sector, and foreign missions have been completed. Number 2, misaligned grades of the same jobs across public service, health service sector, and independent commissions and grant-aided institutions have been realigned. Number 3, a new remuneration framework for the public sector is already being implemented. Number 4, a competence framework for the public service has been completed. And number 5, duplications and overlaps in certain job functions are still being consulted in liaison with the Office of the President and Cabinet. Cabinet received and approved the principles on amendments to the Geographical Indications Act, which was presented by the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs as Chairman of the Cabinet Committee on Legislation. The principles seek to amend the registration and protection of indications identifying products as originating in a particular area as enacted in 2001 in the Geographical Indications Act, Chapter 26.06. The amendments will align the Act to international best practices, including the World Intellectual Property Organization's Geneva Act of the Lisbon Agreement and the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization Model Law on Geographic Indications. The amendments also seek to facilitate effective implementation, prevent the private capture of collective names, and strengthen the protection of Zimbabwean geographical indications in a digital and global trade environment. Cabinet received and approved a report on the 15th session of the Conference of Parties to the Convention on Migratory Species as presented by the Minister of Environment, Climate and Wildlife, Honorable Dr. Evelyn Ndlovu. The Minister of Environment, Climate and Wildlife led a delegation to the 15th session of the Convention on the Conservation of Migratory Species in Campo Grande, Brazil, from the 23rd to the 29th of March 2026. Zimbabwe's participation underscored the country's commitment to collaborative conservation of migratory animals such as elephants, birds, and other species. In particular, the delegation sought to advance the country's interests, namely the inclusion of the declining Zimbabwean cheetah population under the Convention on the Conservation of Migratory Species, Appendices number 1 and 2, the removal of barriers to migration and the protection of the vital corridors, the standardization of conservation protocols for carnivores, and the need to promote strategies to counter the global decline of species. The Convention successfully pushed for increased ecological connectivity, resonating with Zimbabwe's efforts to manage transboundary wildlife corridors for posterity and prosperity. The Convention expressed support for the African Carnivores Initiative as the primary framework for managing carnivores, and also adopted the Pantanal Declaration on Regional and International Collaboration on the Management of Transboundary Wildlife. More significantly, Zimbabwe won the right to host the Conference on the Conservation of Migratory Birds of Prey in November 2026. Cabinet received reports on progress made in the implementation of priority projects for the first 100-day cycle of 2026, as presented by the Ministers of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare, and Local Government and Public Works. The Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Ziyambi, highlighted the following achievements under his purview. 1. Deployment of 4 out of the targeted 7 online application processes, namely deeds of grants, deeds of transfer, validation and deeds reissuance, and mortgage bond. Number 2, establishment of offices in Nyanga District, Manicaland Province is progressing well. Number 3, the overall progress on ground floor plastering and installation of roof covers for courtrooms and magistrates' offices at Gwanda new court complex in Matabeleland South Province has reached 92% of completion. Number 4, construction of Kwekwe new magistrate court in Midlands Province has reached 65% of completion, while construction of Calgary Park new magistrate court in Bulawayo Metropolitan Province is at 40%. The 5th project, establishment of the integrated electric case management systems in Manicaland and Mashonaland East provinces, is almost complete. And the 6th, a total of 551 inmates against the target of 400 inmates were trained in agricultural production projects at Anju, Mazowe, Mutimurefu, Ridigita, and Urungwe prisons, while a total of 100 inmates against a total of 90 inmates were trained in construction skills under the construction of institutional facilities projects. The Minister of Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare, Honorable Edgar Moy, reported progress on projects under his purview as follows. 1, construction of Glaudina high-rise flats Phase 2 in Harare Metropolitan Province is on course to meet the planned target. The 2nd, the overall progress on the construction of 300 houses under the Accelerated Presidential Housing Scheme, Range More Phase 2 in Bulawayo Metropolitan Province has reached 67% of completion. Number 3, disbursement of revolving loan facility to 17,604 pensioners against the set target of 20,000 beneficiaries. Number 4, prosthetic equipment has been procured from Germany for the establishment of a prosthetic workshop in Bulawayo, Metropolitan Province, and shipping arrangements to Zimbabwe are underway. Number 5, procurement of equipment and the registration of regional pharmacies in Chinhoyi and Mutare is on track to meet planned targets. The overall progress on the construction of Madokero Mall residential in Harare Metropolitan Province has reached 90% of completion, while the overall progress on the construction of the North Court perimeter wall guard room in Mount Habden, Mashonaland West Province has reached 45% of completion. In terms of the infrastructure development and housing pillar, under the National Development Strategy number 2, the Minister of Local Government and Public Works, Honorable Daniel Garwe, highlighted the following key achievements under his purview. Number 1, development of the Monumutapa Youth Layout Plans, namely the remainder of Klipsham Layout Plan in Masvingo Province has been approved, while the Victoria Ranch Phase 2 in the same province and Victoria Farm in Kadoma District, Mashonaland West Province are on course to achieve the set targets. Number 2, the construction of the new city villas and conference center in Mount Habden, New City, Mashonaland West Province are progressing well. Number 3, under the good governance, institution building, peace and security pillar of NDS2, the minister highlighted that the national reparations policy has been developed and submitted to cabinet for approval. Number 4, regarding the regional development and inclusivity through devolution and decentralization pillar under NDS2, the minister highlighted the achievements on the following projects. The Mapisa Stadium under the 46th Independence Legacy Projects in Matoa District, Matabeleland South Province is almost complete. The digitization of the traditional leaders information management system has reached 70% of completion and is awaiting the establishment of a dedicated server to proceed to the next phase. And a concept note for the establishment of the Local Government Institute has been developed, marking a significant advancement in efforts to enhance local governance and improve service delivery. Cabinet considered and approved the Memorandum of Understanding between the Republic of Zimbabwe and the Republic of Saudi Arabia concerning cooperation in higher education and scientific research, which was presented by the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Ziyambi Ziyambi, as Chairman of the Cabinet Committee on Legislation. The MOU establishes a framework for collaboration in higher education research initiatives and innovation, focusing on joint projects, student and staff exchanges, scholarship programs, mutual recognition of qualifications, and the development of institutional partnerships. The MOU's goals are to improve access to quality education, to boost research output, to enhance academic standards, and to strengthen the global competitiveness of Zimbabwean universities and research institutions. Cabinet received a report from the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Honorable Professor Amon Murwira, who represented His Excellency the President, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, at the 11th Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States Summit held in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea, from the 27th to the 29th of March 2026. The summit was held under the theme, and I quote, "A transformed and renewed organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific states in a changed world," close quote. 7 heads of states and government, including President Daniel Chapo of Mozambique and King Mswati III of Eswatini from the Southern African Development Community region, were in attendance. The objectives of Zimbabwe's participation were to advance regional and international solidarity, to demonstrate Zimbabwe's commitment to integrating into the global economy through the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States, and to promote a peaceful, secure, and international environment conducive to national development and align with the Malabo Declaration. Cabinet noted Zimbabwe's active engagement during the general debate and the summit, and the minister expressed gratitude for support from the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States for Zimbabwe's bid for a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council. The delegation also participated in the Roundtable on Sustainable Financing, the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States Business Summit. Bilateral meetings with Ghana and Equatorial Guinea were also held to strengthen economic and political ties for mutual benefit. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for presenting today's Cabinet highlights. We now move to the first round of 3 questions. Then the Honorable Ministers will respond to those questions. Then we move to the second round again of 3 questions. Over to you, colleagues.
Thank you, Chief. I'm Richmond, Radio Zimbabwe. The Honorable Chairman talked about the remuneration of civil servants, I think with a view to elevate it from where it is. Now, my question probably is targeted to Comrade Moyo, because each time a government revises civil servants' remuneration, the following day prices go astronomical. I don't know what is government doing to cushion civil servants and members of the public from this behavior.
Second question.
Thank you, Chief Secretary. I'm Gretina Machingura from Shinoa, or China News Agency. I don't know who's going to take up this this question, but since you say the government has adopted the mineral value chain for mining beneficiation industry and export framework, I just want to find out on the export of lithium concentrates following the ban. Is the government made a new position, or the ban is still in force? Thank you.
Question number 3. Over to you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chief Secretary. The first question is directed to Honorable Edgar Moyo.
Thank you very much, Chair, of this session. The question seeks to find out what government is doing in order to arrest this propensity by business to increase prices as soon as government talks about increasing civil servant salaries. It is unfortunate that some businesses behave in that manner. We don't expect it to happen that way. Businesses should price, their price model should not be influenced by what people earn, but rather by their cost escalations. So it's very unfortunate, and would encourage them not to take that route, because it has an effect even on inflation and other pressures on the civil service salaries. But however, what we have done to arrest that behavior is that in our pronouncements about salaries, we have deliberately decided to talk about the framework and not the actual figures. So we hope that is going to contain that particular situation. So we can only appeal to them to allow the economy to grow, to allow people to enjoy their new salaries, and it's responsible behavior on their part. That's what we're calling for. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Then from Machingura, whether government has changed its position on lithium export bans, I would say it's still, the ban is still in force, and the position that was taken today is to strengthen how value addition and beneficiation has to happen in the country, given that there are supposed to be standards for value addition. Some laboratories will have to be established to ensure or to validate that a mineral, before it exits our borders, it has been checked in terms of compliance with the standards for exports, and also there will be a tracking from the mine to the market. And in short, I would say the ban is still taking effect, and I would say it's not only affecting lithium. All minerals have been banned in terms of exportation being in the ore form. The position of Zimbabwean government is that minerals have to be beneficiated, some value have to be assigned, and some jobs should also be created in the process. So this is the position of the government of Zimbabwe. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ministers, for responding to those questions. We move to the next question. Any further questions?
Sure, thank you again, Chief Secretary. I just want to find out whether the government is not concerned about the loss of potential revenue from mineral exports if this ban on raw mineral exports is maintained for some time.
Thank you, Chief Secretary. We are aware that there is potential revenue that has not been earned from the time the ban was effected, but all the same, we continue to encourage our investors to follow the beneficiation route because this is the route which will earn our country a lot of revenue, even the revenue that we are currently losing. We are aware that even jobs, by the time that investors would have embarked on serious value addition and beneficiation, a lot of jobs will be created for our country, and a lot of taxes will also be earned. Just as an example, when we export our lithium in ore form, a ton earns this country around $2,000. Whereas the same ton, when it is beneficiated up to battery grade, can earn this country more than 30,000. So whatever that could be lost during this time, we are very hopeful that we will still get that revenue once we have lifted the ban and the companies have started to beneficiate in compliance with the current strategy of government. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ministers, members of the Fourth Estate. We've come to the end of today's post-cabinet press briefing.